So it's the first weekend of 2024, and I wanted to share some of the things that I learned and experienced this week in the world of watches. So this week I learned about Rolex's new limited edition release of a new DayDate 36, created to mark its partnership with the Vienna Philharmonic. In addition to Rolex's proprietary material unobtainium, this 18-karat yellow gold piece was designed with a hand-etched enamel dial featuring an image of a violin and its volute in shades of green to represent and reflect the Rolex brand. Rolex announced that it will have some of these pieces available to clients who aren't associated with the Vienna Philharmonic, but so far they've only been seen on the wrist of performers of the Vienna Philharmonic on their New Year's Day celebration. This week, Hodinkee dropped a new episode of Watches in the Wild. This episode was set in Paris and hosted by Malika Crawford, whose editorial focus seeks to highlight the intersection between fashion and horology. Now, when I first saw the thumbnail for this episode pop up on my YouTube feed, I actually was a little nervous about the episode because Malika has gotten dragged in the comments in a couple posts on Hodinkee. But just a minute or so into watching the episode, it was actually really great and one of the best segments of Watches in the Wild that I've ever seen. This week I went to check out the new Aquaman movie starring Jason Momoa, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and Randall Park. Yahya Abdul-Mateen makes his return as the villain, and there's a scene in the film where he looks at his watch and he's rocking an IWC that I had never seen. So like any watch enthusiast would, and went to quickly Google what this piece was. After a quick Google search, I was disappointed to find out that this watch was actually only a prop watch, and that they do have a couple watch models that they designed in partnership with Aquaman, but they look nothing like the watches featured in the film. This piece is the Aquatimer Perpetual Calendar Digital Date Month. It's 49 millimeters and housed in a proprietary ceratanium case with black dial and black rubber strap. And there are two iterations of this, one in red and one in blue. From the pictures that I've seen, it looks like an absolute beast on the wrist. I'm sure everyone has probably heard about this by now, but Rolex prices are up an average of 4% in the United Kingdom, but price increases haven't reached the United States yet. But we all know it's just a matter of time before it happens here too. Now, I was super late to the game because I don't watch their show very often, but I was surprised to find out about the cancellation of About Effing Time. Hosted by one of the OG watch YouTubers, Adrian Barker, watch designer George Bamford, and one of the partners of Time and Tide, Andrew McCutcheon. It was pretty cool to watch these guys sometimes have the equivalent of barbershop banter talking about watches in the same space. So I know they're all going to continue to do great things, but peace out to About Effing Time. The New York Post reported that yesterday in NYC's Garment District, a man was going to an appointment at a tailor, and as he was inside of the tailor, some robbers in broad daylight, we're talking around 1:30 p.m., came into the tailor, robbed him of his Rolex, and shot him in the leg, and managed to get away. There currently aren't any suspects for this crime, but it's really wild to hear because if any of you are New Yorkers or visited New York, then you know the Garment District is a place that's bustling with people, there are police everywhere, and for this to happen in broad daylight is pretty wild, to put it politely. So that's all that I have to share from this week's news in the world of watches. Let me know what you think, and if there's any interesting news that you have to share, please let me know in the comments. Till next time.